Bad news hits WWE again. WWE plans in jeopardy. Liv Morgan's WWE shocker. WWE scrambles after injury. Liv Morgan fallout grows. What happens when one injury doesn't just affect a superstar but potentially changes the direction of an entire division? And what if the bad news everyone is talking about is only the beginning of a much bigger problem behind the scenes? For the past few years, Liv Morgan has become one of the most popular stars in WWE. Whether you love her underdog story, her fearless personality, or the way she constantly finds a way to connect with the audience, there's no denying that Liv has become one of the company's most valuable performers. That's why the latest injury news surrounding her has sent shockwaves throughout WWE, leaving fans worried, creative plans scrambling, and the future of several storylines hanging in the balance. And honestly, wrestling fans have seen this movie before. Everything is going great. Momentum is building. A superstar is right in the middle of a major storyline. The crowd is invested. Merchandise is moving. Social media is buzzing. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, one awkward landing, one mistimed move, one unfortunate moment changes everything. That's the reality of professional wrestling. 1 second you're celebrating a huge victory. The next second you're sitting in a doctor's office hearing words no athlete ever wants to hear. And now it appears Liv Morgan may be facing exactly that kind of situation. As reports and discussions surrounding her injury began spreading across the wrestling world, fans immediately started asking the same question: how serious is it? Not the most exciting question in the world, I know. It doesn't have the drama of a surprise return or the excitement of a championship match. But right now, that question matters more than anything else because the answer could affect WWE's plans for months. Think about where Liv Morgan stands today. She's not just another member of the roster. She's become one of the central figures in WWE programming. Her character development over the last few years transformed her from a talented underdog into one of the most recognizable faces in the company. That kind of position isn't easy to replace. You can't just walk into the creative meeting and say, well, Liv's gone, let's copy and paste somebody else into the story. If only wrestling booking worked like updating an app on your phone. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Every major star carries storylines, rivalries, merchandise opportunities, media appearances, promotional responsibilities, and long-term creative plans. When somebody at that level gets injured, the ripple effects spread everywhere. And that's exactly why this situation has become such a huge talking point. Fans have spent years watching Liv fight through setbacks. That's one of the reasons so many people support her. Her career has never followed a straight line. She's had moments where people doubted her. She's had opportunities disappear. She's had to rebuild momentum more than once. Yet somehow she always found a way back. That's part of what makes this injury so frustrating. Just when things seem to be moving in a positive direction, another obstacle appears. And unfortunately, injuries don't care about momentum. They don't care about championship plans. They don't care about fan support. They show up whenever they want. Now here's where things become even more interesting because as fans focused on Liv Morgan's condition, another conversation quietly started gaining momentum behind the scenes. A conversation about WWE itself. You see, injuries are nothing new in professional wrestling. Every generation has dealt with them. Every era has watched stars disappear unexpectedly due to physical setbacks. But lately, it feels like WWE has been dealing with one challenge after another. Every time fans think things are finally settling down, another unexpected issue seems to emerge. One week it's an injury. The next week it's creative uncertainty. Then it's contract questions. Then it's roster changes. Then it's backstage rumors. Then something else. At a certain point, fans start looking at the bigger picture. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Many people aren't just worried about Liv Morgan. They're worried about what her injury represents because when major stars start disappearing from television, it creates pressure on everyone else. Suddenly other performers need to step up. Creative teams need backup plans. Storylines need rewrites. Schedules change. Future events become harder to predict. It's like pulling one important piece from a giant tower and hoping everything else stays standing. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. And wrestling history is filled with examples of both outcomes. What's fascinating is how quickly fans reacted when news of Liv's injury started spreading. Within hours, social media exploded. People were analyzing clips, sharing theories, speculating about recovery timelines, debating possible replacements, and fantasy booking future storylines. You know, wrestling fans. Give us 5 minutes and we'll create 17 alternate universes explaining what should happen next. Some of those theories were reasonable. Some were, let's just say, very creative. We'll leave it there. But beneath all the speculation was something genuine: concern. Because regardless of which wrestlers people support, nobody enjoys seeing someone get hurt, especially someone who has worked as hard as Liv Morgan has. And that's where the emotional side of this story enters the picture. Professional wrestling is unique because fans don't just watch performers. They grow attached to them. They watch careers develop over years. They celebrate victories. They experience disappointments. They witness setbacks. Eventually, those performers start feeling like familiar faces in your weekly routine. That's why injuries hit differently. It's not just about missing matches. It's about watching somebody's journey get interrupted. And sometimes that's harder than fans expect. Meanwhile, WWE now faces several important decisions moving forward. How do they adjust existing storylines? Which stars receive bigger opportunities? Who benefits from the unexpected opening? History shows that injuries often create opportunities for other performers. Some of wrestling's biggest stars rose to prominence because circumstances forced companies to change plans. Nobody expected it. Nobody predicted it. Yet suddenly a new star emerged. Could something similar happen here? It's certainly possible. WWE's roster is packed with talented performers waiting for larger opportunities. Sometimes all it takes is one unexpected situation for somebody's career to change forever. But let's be honest. Even if someone benefits professionally, that doesn't erase the disappointment surrounding Liv's injury. Fans wanted to see where her story was heading. They wanted answers. They wanted developments. They wanted moments. Now there's uncertainty instead. And uncertainty is something wrestling fans simultaneously love and hate. We love mystery. We hate waiting. It's a complicated relationship, kind of like being convinced your favorite superstar is returning every single week for 6 months straight. We've all been there. Don't pretend otherwise. By the way, if you're enjoying this discussion, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments because this is one of those situations where every fan seems to have a different opinion. As more details continue emerging, one thing